Hello, Dendrophilian. I am the mass analyst. I watched a couple of your videos on pedophilia recently. The first video, as you know, was pulled by YouTube, and this sang the praises of pedophilia and why it should be allowed. And in fact, you did more than just sing the praises. You actually encouraged pedophiles to go out and fuck the children of religious people. The second video explained your real feelings behind pedophilia. I have to say, when I watched the first video, I was absolutely appalled and disgusted. You say we should leave our emotions at the door. It's very hard after you see a video like that to leave your emotions at the door and to discuss things rationally. I will try to do so, however, despite my disgust. Now, before discussing the issues you raised, I must congratulate you on the one point of agreement that I have with you. And there's one thing you said that I really strongly agree with you. You said that your views do not represent those of other atheists. And to this I say, Amen, Hallelujah. I think very few atheists will end up endorsing your views on pedophilia. Now, you raised two separate issues that really should be discussed separately. One, the limits of free speech. What sort of speech should be allowed on YouTube? What sort of speech shouldn't be allowed on YouTube? What should be legal? What should not be legal? The second issue is the issue of pedophilia itself. Should it be legalized or decriminalized? Let's look at these separately. Okay, on the issue of free speech. I support your right to make a video trying to convince others to change the laws so that pedophilia should be legal. As disgusting as this is, as some people have noted, free speech or speech that people can agree on doesn't need First Amendment protection. Speech that people do not find offensive is not going to be attacked. It's only that speech which we find offensive, distasteful, disgusting, sinful, whatever word you want to use. It's only that type of speech that really needs protection of the First Amendment. So I support your right to make a video supporting pedophilia. However, when you stated that when you encouraged pedophiles to actually go out and fuck children of religious parents, who had religious parents, that went too far. And you recognize that in your second video, and you apologize for that, and I appreciate that. Now, the question is, do you support free speech? Or are you just raising this as an issue to kind of justify your statements, or to give you cover for your statements on pedophilia? If you are a true free speech advocate, then you would support someone if they made a video stating that our laws should be changed so that anyone caught having sexual relations with a child should be put to death. Now, if you can support someone advocating the death penalty for pedophilia, then I'll know you are a true free speech advocate. Now, one could push the envelope even a little bit further, and this I have some real qualms about. Would you support someone if they said that they would want to change the laws so that it's permissible for everyone to go out and hunt pedophiles on their own and shoot them and put a bullet in their head? Would you encourage someone, or would you encourage the free speech rights of someone to make a video advocating open hunting season on pedophiles? Now, I would strongly disapprove of that law. I don't think we should be judge, jury, and executioner. Too many innocent people are going to get hurt, even if one did say that pedophiles should be killed. Personally, I think that pedophiles should be locked away for a good long time. Those who actually engage in sexual relations with children should be locked away for a good long time, indefinitely, so that they're not in the general population where they can get at children. I'm not sure about the death penalty for pedophiles, largely because people can get executed who are innocent. So I have some qualms about that. But the question is, would you advocate the right of someone to make that video encouraging the laws to be changed for open hunting season? I would support this, even though I would disagree with the law. I would support someone's right to make such a video. And I would hope that enough people would have enough sense to realize that innocent people are going to get slaughtered and that such a law will not be enacted. So it would be very interesting to hear your take on that. Now, as to the issue of pedophilia itself, should that be legalized? Well, you said that pedophilia was rampant in ancient Greece, and this didn't hurt the children there. And people have used the relationship between Socrates and Plato as Exhibit A to prove that pedophilia is just cool and dandy. My answer is, well, where has that gotten the ancient Greeks? They're all dead now. So what good has it done them? Okay, that's a flippant answer. The more serious answer is this. Even if you could demonstrate that some children can endure being preyed upon by adults, having sexual relations with adults, and they come out okay. Even if some children can go through this without being harmed, this doesn't prove that all children can do it, or even that many can do it. Even if you can find examples where there is no psychological harm, most children are not ready for this. And we need laws to protect the children. We can't determine, as far as I know, there is no test that will determine which child. This child is going to be just fine after having sexual relations, whereas this child isn't. And since you can't determine which child will be okay and which child will not, you have to make laws protecting all the children. Secondly, you ignore a couple of relevant issues. First, there's a huge power differential between a child and an adult. The child could be easily pressured into having sex, even if he or she didn't want to. As you may be aware, quite a few corporations prohibit dating between supervisors and the people they employ. It's kind of looked down upon. Now, this is certainly not universal, but many companies do this because they recognize that the supervisor has a power position over the employee, and that an employee could end up being pressured into having relations that she really doesn't want. And so this is their way of protecting the employee. Now, as big as the power differential between the supervisor and the employee, the power differential between an adult and a child is even greater. So we need laws to protect children, to prevent them from feeling pressured. You also ignore the issue of STDs. A child has no understanding of the implications or the ramifications of sexually transmitted diseases. They can't understand the health implications involved in engaging in sex with an adult. And since they can't understand this, how can they possibly give informed consent? And for young girls, now they're very young, they can't get pregnant obviously, but say 10, well 10 might be a little young, but there's some who could get pregnant at 10, but even 12 or 13, they're not ready to deal with pregnancy. How is it that they can give informed consent? They're not mature enough to understand all the issues involved. And even if they did understand the issues, they're not mature enough to take care of themselves and their babies. So they need to be protected. And you conveniently ignore that. You did, however, bring in a red herring. You said that because some species of apes have pedophilic relations, then this is just fine and dandy for humans to do it. I get some real queasy feelings at looking at the animal kingdom and basing their behavior, or using their behavior as a basis for constructing a moral system for human behavior. If we looked at animals, all we need to do is look at the praying mantis. The female eats the head off of the male during sexual relationships. Should we say that this should be permissible in human relationships? Well, I guess if you're a member of the Jeffrey Dahmer fan club, you'll be using this as a justification for cannibalism. Oh, but wait. You said you only specified behavior within the apes, and you turned to apes. Let's not look at the insects, you might say. And since apes do it, it's perfectly natural for humans to do it. Well, there have been some documented instances of chimpanzees committing infanticide and even cannibalism. And I'll post a couple of links in the sidebar for you to look at. Now, are you going to make the argument that because, at least under certain circumstances, chimpanzees can be cannibalistic, that we should allow cannibalism in our society? Well, you might say, oh, wait a second, what about adults who give informed consent? What if an adult believes that he or she should be cannibalized, that maybe they're depressed or what have you? Should we allow cannibalism between consenting adults? I would say no. The very fact that an adult may consent to cannibalism is an indicator that they are not mentally well, that they can't make an informed consent, they're not capable of it. They're probably depressed, seriously depressed, but anyone who says, okay, eat me, literally, is probably not capable of making an informed consent. And I don't care how many chimpanzees you can find that have committed cannibalism. We shouldn't be basing our basis for human morality upon the behavior of other members, other species of animals. Just because they do it does not necessarily make that legal for humans. So I strongly disagree with your approach toward pedophilia. I support your right to do it, or not to commit to pedophilia. I support your right to put out a video explaining why you think the law should be changed, disgusting as I find that may be. Do you support the right of someone to make a video advocating a change of the law for to allow the death penalty for pedophiles? How about someone who advocates a change of the law to allow hunting season for pedophiles? Would you support that person's freedom of speech? Not an easy question to answer, I have to admit. Even I have some qualms about that, but I would say, yeah, you have to support even that sort of speech. Well, this has been the Mass Analyst, under and in. Oh, I was just rethinking some of the things that I just said on that video, and I'm having some second thoughts. Okay, I admit it, I'm going to be wishy-washy. I said that I would support someone if they made a video saying that the law should be changed to allow open hunting season on pedophiles. And I thought about that some more. And, you know, if that law had been changed to say gays, would I support that, the right of someone to make that sort of speech? How about Jews or blacks or ugly people wearing masks? That's a really hard one. I can see advantages and disadvantages on both sides of the issue. I'm not going to fault someone if they can't support that sort of law. I have a lot of queasy feelings on that. I really can't make up my mind on whether I should support someone's right to make that sort of speech. It's very hard. I probably still would say yes, they should be allowed to advocate that position, but I'm not sure. And I'm interested in seeing the comments here, and my mind is not totally made up, and I might change my mind. Let's see what other people might have to say about that. My mind isn't set in stone at this point on that particular issue. I also want to encourage people to check out a couple of videos that I'm going to link to. Pete Doman and Mel's Basket Case both made very good videos that I think are highly worthwhile watching on this topic. So I encourage you to watch them. Well, listen to the Mass Analyst, under and in.